What's going on, folks? Coming to you today with a new vlog, and today's going to be one that's a little different than what I normally do. I'm going to show you guys a bunch of graphs, and I'm going to pop them up on the screen. This one's going to take a little bit of editing, so it's going to take me a couple days to get this one out because I got to figure out how to edit it completely to do this. But I'm going to show you guys some graphs and kind of show you what the economy's doing and explain to you my opinions on how healthy the economy is and what to look for in the trucking industry here. Because obviously right now everybody's saying the economy's slowing, the economy's bad, trucking rates are down, this and that, and they're true to some extent. So I'm going to go through these graphs and really explain why I believe the economy is the way it is, and let's just get into it. So what I'm going to show you here is going to be a 5-year chart and a 1-year chart showing you really what the economy is. These are all ETF stock market charts. Any of you guys can look them up yourselves if you want. These are off of Robinhood itself, which is, again, one of my favorite trading apps. But to start out, we're going to start out with what everybody knows, and it is the SPY, or what they call the S&P 500. It is the top 500 companies that are trading here in America, and it really shows the strength of our major industries. So right now, if we're looking at the SPY, you can see by this chart that the 5-year chart, if you look back at that little dip right there, that is right there at the end of 2018, beginning of 2019, to the beginning of last year when rates really started to plummet. But if you look right there, we had a little bit of a dip, but over the last 5 years, if you look, the economy's still growing. And if you look right now, even though because of the coronavirus that we have right this second, the economy did take a dip on Thursday and Friday. But right now, the economy's still growing. And if you look, the economy's spiking. Let's go to the 1-year chart on the SPY. And over the last year, which is pretty much showing right now from the dip to today, the economy is surging. I mean, in the last year, it's up 23%. To be exact, 23.59%. Past 5 years, it's up 62.18%. The economy is soaring right now. If we go and look at the financial sector, which is going to be the banking, mortgages, financing cars, credit card debt, all that kind of stuff. Right now, in the last 5 years, if you look, it's the... Oh, hang on, I got a call. All right, I'm back. But getting back to the financial sector, I don't really know where I left off, so I'm just going to restart on that one. But if we're looking at... That's going to be credit cards, that's banking, that's mortgages, financing cars, financing our tractor trailers. If you look at that, over the last 5 years, look, we're still up. It's a little more level, but we're still up. We're up 58.43%. We look at the 1-year chart, we're still up 16.71%. What you really got to look at in looking at these charts is when it comes to markets in general, you should expect a 7 to 8% market increase. So if we're looking at 16 and 20 and 30% increases, we're in over a year's time frame, we're looking at massive increases in the markets. We go to the utility sector, which obviously you know that's our electric. well, more or less our electric grid, powering our houses, solar, natural gas, nuclear, all the coal power, all of those sectors. You look at over the last 5 years, we're up almost 40%, 39.85%. You look at over the last year, we're up 26.54%. I hope you realize that is nearly 4 times an average growth rate for a year. Our economy right now, if you look at it, is still surging. Everybody talks about it being bad, but if you look at the graphs and what they tell you with the numbers, then the economy is just constantly growing right now over the last 5 years and over the last year, even with the dip of rates last year. You look at the technology sector, your cell phones, computers, computer chips, all of that end of things. We're up in 5 years 139.29%. That's amazing. Just think about that. You're up 139%. If you put $100 into this, you'd have $239 right now. If you put it in 5 years ago, that's insane. That is over double your money in 5 years. We're talking in the last year, 48.4%. I mean, look at these charts. Look at what they're telling us. Everything's growing. The technology sector is zooming. So we look at the industrial sector, something that really most of us in the trucking industry, this is our sector. This is really what's telling us what's going on. You look at the 5 year, we're still up 51%. We had a dip. You go back. The industrial sector is the one that took the hit at the end of 2018, beginning of 2019. You can see it right there on the graph. You have a huge dip in the industrial sector. That's telling us that, look, yeah, we had a huge dip right there, and that hurt the trucking industry. But you look at the industrial sector in the past year, we're up 19%. Almost 3 times the average growth rate of the economy. So healthcare really doesn't matter to us, but we'll just go over that real quick because that's another sector. 45.37%. We go over consumer staples. Now that's another one. You guys that are hauling van trailers, your dry goods, stuff in grocery stores, consumer staples, the stuff we buy. This is the second most important sector that's going to affect the trucking industry. Consumer staples, if you watch consumer staples and industrials, we're talking that's probably 90% of the industry. Consumer staples in 5 years is up 29.24%. That doesn't sound like a whole lot, because it isn't, but if we look at the past year, just in the last year, when we're getting killed in the trucking industry, consumer staples, people taking money out of their pocket, going to the store and buying stuff. Consumer staples is up 22.69%. So think about that. We're dying in the trucking industry. Rates are plummeting, this and that. But consumer staples, if we're dying in the trucking industry, usually that coincides with a slowing economy. So if that's coinciding with a slowing economy, but everything is showing us that the economy is not slowing. Right now the economy is booming. So if we're being presented this news and it's telling us, oh my God, the economy is plummeting, what are we going to do? We're going into a recession. But every single thing you look at shows, no, it's not. Everything's growing. How would we be going into a recession if everything is growing? So what's that telling us? If we look at the numbers what kind of a conclusion can we come to? Right now, the only thing that could be affecting the trucking rates right now isn't companies just bidding things lower and lower and lower. That's not, they're not just doing that because the economy is showing that there's actually more and more stuff to be shipped. If we're looking at the economic numbers, if the consumer staples has grown by 22%, that means there should be 22% more stuff being shipped. Well, now we'd have to go and look at inflation rate, because if the consumer staples is growing by 22% and where it looks like that more stuff's not being shipped, that means inflation rate should be going up. What people are paying for the same goods should be going up, but it's not. Inflation rates right now are stagnant. Listen to the Fed. The Fed is constantly telling us that they are trying to increase inflation. Inflation rate now is stagnant. It is less than 2%. That's not good for an economy when it's going into debt, because you want inflation to go up. The higher inflation goes, debt becomes worth less and less and less and less. But that's besides the point. So if we're looking at all these numbers right now, it's telling us that more stuff is being shipped. There's more stuff out there for us, so rates should be going up, but they're not. And the reason rates would not be going up is if you look in the last 5 years, the economy has boomed, which means every one of us has had more money in our pocket over the last 5 years. All of us having more money in our pocket, which means more of us can then afford to go become owner-operators, go get our authorities. And what that's doing is it has saturated the economy, or it's saturated the trucking industry in general with two things. A lot more owner-operators trying to go after the same freight, but that creates a lot of owner-operators and a lot of new trucking companies. I was one of them in 2009 that don't understand how to bid on this work. They're looking at the freight and they're saying, well, my costs are this and I want to make this, so that's how they bid on it. But what ends up happening is they're not including a lot of costs that they don't know about yet. I mean, look, most of us going into the industry from the get-go, it takes 3 to 4 years before you really understand all the costs involved in running your trucking company. Look at how many trucking companies start. They think they make a fortune. They get to the end of the year, they owe buku amounts of taxes, and they obviously know they can't afford that period, and they shut their company down. Well, all that does is that creates a lot of downward pressure to freight rates. So what's going to happen now? The economy is still growing, but it's not growing at the rate it did in 2017, 2018, when rates skyrocketed because of e-logs. Now rates have leveled out and they've started to drop because we've had an oversaturation of people getting into the trucking industry. And what we're doing is now we are zooming down to a bottom. When we hit the bottom, what's going to happen is there's going to be a lot of trucking companies go out of business. We've already seen that. I closed my business. I am one of, I think, the 610 companies in the last year that have closed their doors. Which some of us, like me, I'm very happy I did. I'm happier now than I've been in a long time. But I have other things on my plate that I want to do in my life. So owning the trucking company for me right now, just in my opinion, was not what I wanted to be doing. I want to move into other things. But what's going to happen is you're going to have rates. They're going to bottom out. You're going to have a lot of companies go out of business. And what's going to happen is there's going to be more companies go out of business than what needs to go out of business to level out the rates. So you're going to see another spike in rates. Rates are going to spike back up again. and they're going to go above the median of what they should be at, or what the median of the market and the economy wants them to be at. What the rates that we want, look, we're not going to get those, but the economy will decide the rates for us. It's not brokers, it's not shippers, it's the economy. What does the economy tell us? Well, the rates are going to go above the median of what the economy wants for rates. And when it goes up to that, you're going to get a few more people get back into the trucking industry again. You're going to have a very minor saturation of the market, and then the market's going to come back down and level out completely, and we'll probably see rates hold fairly level for another 3 to 5 years. Then something's going to happen to the economy. Either the economy is going to slow and rates are going to plummet and companies are going to go out of business again, or the economy is going to continually take off and we're going to see rates steadily pick up again, and we're going to have an oversaturation of drivers getting into the ownership end of trucking. And when that happens again, we're going to see another peak, another valley, another small peak, and then a level off. That's what happens. So just look at it. Don't be scared of what everybody's telling us in the news. The economy's not going into a recession right now. There's other countries out there that are going into a recession that will slow our economy a little bit, but our economy here in the United States is still soaring. It is soaring above average. So guys, that's my opinion on the market, and if you look at the graphs, that's what they are telling us. I'm investing in the markets based on what these graphs are telling me. So is everybody else. So you can come up with your own conclusion on what you feel the economy's doing, and you're not wrong, because what you feel the economy doing is what you feel. Your feelings are right in that aspect, because you can't have feelings that are wrong per se. So in my opinion, I'm not wrong, but in someone else's opinion, I very well may be. But either way, we're both right in what we're seeing in our personal paycheck right now. So guys, that's it for today. If you like this kind of content, please hit the like button and please subscribe to the channel. Also, if you want to see more content from me, please hit the bell over in the corner and help me to grow the channel. It's growing a little bit here and there, which is all I can ask for. I'm reaching more and more people, and I hope I'm entertaining you guys. If you guys have any tips or suggestions, please leave them in the comments below. Let's discuss what my opinions are on the economy. If you feel I'm wrong, tell me that you feel I'm wrong and show me where you're getting your information that is showing me or showing you something opposite of what I'm seeing. Because again, I'm not always right. This is just my opinion. So guys, please smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and if you want to get notified when I post stuff, please hit the bell, and let's make this channel grow and try to help more people in the trucking industry. Thank you very much, guys. I will catch you on the next one.